everybody? JT Dangerously once again. I am back for my college football bowl predictions. Now, with the regular season in the books, it is now all about bowl season, and it's all about the college football playoffs. So I'm very excited to do these bowl predictions this year. Our first year doing this. I've had a few experience in college football bowl predictions in the past, have had a pretty solid record consistently every season, so I'm very excited to do these predictions. Now, I'll be doing 38 bowls out of the combined 41 games, so the 3 other games will be in the video right after this. So I hope you guys do enjoy these 38 bowl predictions. This may be a long video, so hope you guys sit back, relax, and hope you guys do enjoy this video. Now, before I begin, I do want to thank you guys so very much for the overwhelming success that my college football predictions had on the channel this year, especially last week's championship college football predictions last week. You guys blew that up with over 200 plus views. You guys super kicked that like button 7 times, and we had over 36 plus comments on that video. You guys representing your teams, your picks, and your opinions on everything that is college football. So I do want to thank you guys so very much for doing that, and hopefully in this video you guys will show your love by watching the video, super kicking that like button, and representing your team if they're in bowl games. If not, represent them in the comments, your picks and your opinions. Now, as I said, right after this video, I'll have my college football playoff semifinals and finals predictions, the final 3 games of this year's college football bowl season, which we will see 2 semifinal games, and then those 2 winners of the semifinal games will go on to the finals and face each other for the college football playoff national championship. So as soon as this video ends, I'll have my college football playoff semifinals and finals predictions, and you'll hear my opinion on the surprise at the number 4 position to see who is going to face Clemson in the All-State Sugar Bowl. So stay tuned for that and show your love on that video as well. Now, we are at 250 plus subscribers now on the channel, so I do want to thank you guys so very much for supporting the channel. To new subscribers, thank you guys for super kicking that subscribe button, and welcome to the Dangerous Lines. It is great to have you guys here. And to my longtime subscribers, thank you guys for sticking around, supporting the channel, and as always, killing it. Now, this is your first time watching my channel, as a first-time viewer, and this is your first video. Boy, you picked a good one if you're ready for the bowl season. Welcome to the Dangerous Lions. I am JT Dangerously, and welcome to the club, because this club is just too... Whoop, whoop. Again, thank you guys so very much. Now, other than that, let's get started with these bowl predictions. Now, we're going to start off with the first of 5 games on December 16th. It is the Celebration Bowl featuring the Grambling Tigers facing the North Carolina A&T Aggies. Now, to say I don't know a lot about these teams is a huge understatement. I know Grambling played on Saturday and won the SWAC, the Southwestern Athletic Conference, over Alcorn State. So that's maybe the only thing I can say about the Grambling Tigers team, that they won the SWAC. And then on the other side, you have North Carolina A&Ts, which I have no clue about. So, first bowl game of the season, and it's 2 teams I have little to nothing to know about. So, coming from me in this first match, I'm going to make this one quick. I am taking the Grambling Tigers to defeat the North Carolina A&T Aggies. And now the next matchup, it is the New Orleans Bowl featuring the North Texas Mean Green facing the Troy Trojans. Now the North Texas Mean Green are coming off a very tough loss to Florida Atlantic in the Conference USA Championship. Again, I got that one right with Florida Atlantic, but North Texas is coming in looking to get a bowl, finish the season up with a bowl win. Then on the other side, you have the Troy Trojans, who are coming off a big win over Arkansas State in the Sun Belt Conference Championship on Saturday. Again, this is the team that knocked off LSU at Death Valley, so this Troy team is a really good team. So coming from me in this New Orleans Bowl this year, man, this one's tough. Again, North Texas, the Mean Green, maybe the best college football name in college football right now. Man, this one's tough. I'm going to take the Troy Trojans to defeat the North Texas Mean Green in the New Orleans Bowl. And now the next bowl matchup. It is the AutoNation Cure Bowl featuring the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers versus Georgia State. Now, the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers are coming in out of the American Athletic. I think it was the American Conference. Again, I've only picked against them once in the regular season when they fought Florida Atlantic, and Florida Atlantic got it done. So this is only the second time I've seen Western Kentucky in predictions this year. So again, I'm very, very, very green when it comes to Western Kentucky. I still think their field is the red turf. I think. Again, correct me if I'm wrong if you're a Western Kentucky Hilltopper fan. Then on the other side, you have Georgia State, who's coming out of the Sun Belt Conference again. Another team I don't know a lot about. I don't know a lot about the Sun Belt Conference other than Troy's there and Appalachian State is there. So coming from me in this Auto Nation's Cure Bowl, I'm going to take the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers to defeat Georgia State. And now the next matchup, it is the Las Vegas Bowl featuring the Mountain West Conference champions, my Boise State Broncos, facing, coming out of the Pac-12, the Oregon Ducks. Now the Boise State Broncos are coming off a 3-point win over Fresno State on Saturday to win another Mountain West championship. And again, they're in a pretty solid bowl. They were here a couple years ago, and this Boise State team is coming in hot. I mean, even after losing the regular season finale against Fresno State, they came back and beat Fresno State in the big game in the Mountain West Championship game on Saturday. They're looking good. This team has been pretty impressive coming from me, and I'm very happy to be predicting one of my teams in a bowl season. Then on the other side, you have the Oregon Ducks, who, of course, the last time I saw them play was at the Civil War game against Oregon State. They also got their quarterback, Hubert, back, who got hurt beginning of the season. Now he's back at quarterback, and the Ducks are definitely riding high coming into this bowl game. So coming from me in this matchup, and this one's a tough one because Oregon's a good team. I've always liked their color scheme when it comes to uniforms. Same thing with Boise, the same cool uniform scheme. So coming from me in this Las Vegas Bowl this year, this one's tough. I'm gonna take my Boise State Broncos to defeat the Oregon Ducks in a very close matchup. And now the next matchup, it is the New Mexico Bowl featuring the Ramblin' Herd of Marshall facing the Colorado State Rams. Now, Marshall's coming out of the Conference USA. The Herd are definitely looking to get a big-time win in a big-time bowl here in the New Mexico Bowl. Then on the other side, you have the Colorado State Rams, who are coming out of the Mountain West Conference. They've had so many competition in that division, and they're looking to get a big-time win for the Mountain West Conference. So coming from me in this New Mexico Bowl this year, I'm going to go with the Colorado State Rams to defeat the Marshall Herd. And now the next bowl matchup. It is the Camellia Bowl featuring the Middle Tennessee State Blue Raiders, if I've got that right, versus the Arkansas State Red Wolves. Now, again, I don't know a lot about both of these teams. You're gonna hear that a lot in this video, but I don't know what to say other than I don't know a lot about them. So I'm coming in very blind into this matchup. So coming from me in this Camellia Bowl matchup, I'm going to take the Middle Tennessee State Blue Raiders to defeat the Arkansas State Red Wolves. And now the next bowl matchup that happens on December 19th. It is the Boca Raton Bowl featuring the Akron Zips facing the Conference USA champions, the Florida Atlantic Owls. Now the Akron Zips are coming off a very tough loss to the Toledo Rockets in the MAC Championship over on Saturday. They are coming in 7-6. They're looking to get a big time bowl win against a very good Florida Atlantic team. Then on the other side, you have the Florida Atlantic Owls are coming off a big win over North Texas in the Conference USA Championship game on Saturday. Lane Kiffin got this team from obscurity to 10-win season, and he's looking to finish up cap a fantastic year at Florida Atlantic. So coming from me in this Boca Raton Bowl, I'm gonna continue to ride the wave of Lane Kiffin and pick the Florida Atlantic Owls to defeat the Akron Zips. And now the next bowl matchup. It is the Frisco Bowl featuring the Mustangs of Southern Methodist versus Louisiana Tech. Now SMU's coming out of the American Conference. Mustangs looking to get a big-time bowl win here. And then on the other side, you have the Louisiana Tech. Again, I don't know a lot about Louisiana Tech, so I'm very green about them. So coming from me in this Frisco Bowl, man, this one's tough. I'm going to take Louisiana Tech to defeat the SMU Mustangs. And now the next bowl matchup is the Gasparilla Bowl, featuring the Temple Owls facing Florida International. Now, the Temple Owls are coming off a I can't remember who they played a few weeks ago, but the Temple Owls team is looking to get a big win for the American Conference in this bowl matchup. Then on the other side, you have Florida International, who the last time I saw them, they lost to Florida Atlantic, so they're looking to get a big win in this bowl. So coming from me in this matchup, this one's tough. I'm going to take the Temple Owls to defeat Florida International. And now the next bowl matchup. It is the Bahamas Bowl, featuring the University of Alabama Birmingham Blazers versus the Ohio Bobcats. Now, the only thing I know about the UAB Blazers is what happened a few years ago, that they shut down the whole football program, and the community, the team, said to bring this football team back, and they brought it back, and they have just thrived since then. So that's the only thing I know about UAB. Then on the other side, you have the Ohio Bobcats, where the last time I saw them, they lost to Akron and got Akron to the MAC championship. So coming from me in this bowl matchup, man, this one's tough. I'm going to go with the UAB Blazers to defeat the Ohio Bobcats. And now the next bowl matchup. It is the Potato Bowl, featuring the Central Michigan Chippewas facing the Wyoming Cowboys. Now, I don't know a lot about Central Michigan, the Chippewas. So I'm very, very green about. I can't really say a lot about them because I haven't watched any of their games. Then on the other side of the Wyoming Cowboys are coming out of the Mountain West Conference. They're Josh Allen again. If he comes out, he's going to be a top 5 quarterback in next year's NFL draft. So look out for him in this game. So coming from me in this matchup, I'm going to take Josh Allen and the Wyoming Cowboys to defeat the Central Michigan Chippewas. And now the next bowl matchup. It is the Birmingham Bowl, featuring the Bulls of South Florida facing the Red Raiders of Texas Tech. Now, the South Florida Bulls are coming off that tough loss to UCF on the Battle of I-4 in Week 13. Quentin Flowers is looking to finish up his career with a big-time win. Charlie Strong is looking to get a big-time win for the program and for himself. Then on the other side of the Texas Tech Red Raiders, who may not be having, they doesn't look like they're going to be keeping Cliff Kingsbury, so he's going to be gone, and they're looking to just start over next season and maybe be a little bit of a threat in the Big 12. So coming from me in this matchup, I'm going to take Quentin Flowers and the South Florida Bulls to defeat the Texas Tech Red Raiders. And now the next bowl matchup. It is the Armed Forces Bowl, featuring the Black Knights of Army facing the San Diego State Aztecs. Now, Army has not played. Army still has to play the Navy games, so I can't really say a lot about Army because the Navy game has not happened yet, which is going to happen on Saturday. Then on the other side, you have the San Diego State Aztecs, who are coming out of the Mountain West Conference. Again, very tough team. Teams like Boise State, Fresno State. Rashad Penny definitely is going to be the one to look out for in this matchup. So coming from me in this one, this one's tough. I'm going to take Rashad Penny and San Diego State to defeat the Black Knights of Army. And now the next bowl matchup. It is the Dollar General Bowl, featuring the MAC champions, the Toledo Rockets, facing Appalachian State. Now, Toledo is coming off a big win over Akron on Saturday to win the MAC championship. Again, the only thing I know about Toledo is Kareem Hunt played there, and look where he's doing. Look what he's doing or not doing in Kansas City for the Chiefs. Then on the other side, you have Appalachian State, who got a big win on Saturday. I think they got a share of the Sun Belt Conference. But they didn't win it outright. They got a share. But Appalachian State has always been that team about upsets. Look what they did to Michigan in 2007. So look out. This could definitely be a surprising game for Toledo. So coming from me in the Dollar General Bowl, I'm going to roll with the Toledo Rockets to defeat Appalachian State. And now the next bowl matchup. It is the Hawaii Bowl, which will be played in Hawaii. It is the Houston Cougars facing the Fresno State Bulldogs. Now, the Houston Cougars, the last time I saw them was a big win over Navy on Black Friday, so they're coming in looking to get a big-time bowl win. Then on the other side, you have the Fresno State Bulldogs, who are coming off a 3-point loss to my Boise State Broncos in the Mountain West Conference Championship game on Saturday. even though they lost by 3 points, this team has looked good this season. Jed Tedford definitely should be in line for a Mountain West Coach of the Year. Now, if you saw my Week 14 predictions, I did say if Fresno State did beat Boise State not once but twice, I would pick them, but they didn't. But I'm going to change that. I am going to go with the Fresno State Bulldogs to get this win. I just think I picked against them multiple times. One game against San Diego State cost me an undefeated record in college football predictions, and I picked against them multiple times in the regular season. But this Fresno State team is actually really good, and I think they're a much better team than Houston, and I think they can get it done. So coming from me in this matchup, I'm taking the Fresno State Bulldogs to defeat the Houston Cougars. And now the next matchup, it is the Heart of Dallas Bowl featuring the West Virginia Mountaineers facing the Utah Utes. Now, West Virginia is coming into this bowl. We don't know if Pat Greer is going to play. He did break his finger in the Texas game, and if he does not play, it definitely is going to hurt West Virginia in this bowl game. Then on the other side, you have the Utah Utes coming out of the Pac-12. They're looking to get another big-time bowl win, and they're looking to knock off a very good West Virginia team. So coming from me in this Heart of Dallas Bowl, the biggest question is Pat Greer is going to play. If he does not play, it's not going to be an easy one for West Virginia. So coming from me, I'm going to stick with West Virginia to win. I'm going to hopeful they're going to get it done and defeat the Utah Utes. And now the next bowl matchup. It is the Quick Lane Bowl featuring the Fighting Cutcliffes of Duke facing the Northern Illinois Huskies. Now Duke is coming out of the ACC. They've had a pretty solid year this year in the ACC Coastal with teams like Miami, Virginia Tech, Georgia Tech, UNC. But they're looking good. This Duke team is actually a really good team, and I do have a good feeling they'll be a better team next season in the Coastal. Then on the other side, you have the Northern Illinois Huskies who are coming off that tough loss to, I can't remember who they lost. They lost to Toledo. I know they lost to Toledo going into the MAC championship. But this Northern Illinois team is pretty solid, and they're always looking to get another big bowl win. So coming from me in this matchup, this one's tough. I'm going to go with the Fighting Cutcliffes of Duke to defeat the Northern Illinois Huskies. And now the next matchup, it is the Cactus Bowl featuring the Kansas State Wildcats facing the UCLA Bruins. Now the Kansas State Wildcats are coming out of the Big 12 Conference. They did have a pretty okay season. They did knock off Oklahoma State. They did give a lot of teams a run for their money in the Big 12, and they're looking to finish up the season with a big win in this bowl. Then on the other side, you have the UCLA Bruins are coming off that tough loss to USC in the battle for the victory bell. Their quarterback definitely is going to be a lookout for in the draft, and with new coach Chip Kelly there, he's definitely going to look to get UCLA back to prominence in the Pac-12. So coming from me in this matchup, this one's tough. Like I said, UCLA is so hard to trust in regular season games and in bowl games. So I'm going to play it safe. I'm going to go with the Kansas State Wildcats to defeat the UCLA Bruins. And now the next matchup. It is the Independence Bowl featuring the Seminoles of Florida State facing the Southern Mississippi Golden Eagles. Now FSU got a big win over Louisiana Monroe on Saturday to get bowl eligible for the 20th or 30th time. And we did hear Jimbo Fisher is leaving Florida State, so they're going to be looking for a new coach, and that's a big opening for anybody who wants it. But definitely Florida State is going to be looking to finish up this very unfortunate season this year, losing DeAndre Francois and going with a rookie quarterback, but they found a way to win once again and get bowl eligible. Then on the other side, you have the Southern Mississippi Golden Eagles. Again, I don't know a lot about them. The only thing I know about them that Brett Favre played there when he was quarterbacking in college. So coming from me in this matchup, I'm gonna go with Florida State to defeat Southern Mississippi. And now the next bowl matchup. It is the Pinstripe Bowl, which will be played at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. It is the Boston College Golden Eagles facing the Iowa Hawkeyes. Now the BC is coming out of the ACC, another team that I think could be a threat next season in the Atlantic with teams like Louisville and Florida State and Clemson. But BC is definitely looking to finish up a pretty solid regular season and finish up with a win in this bowl. Then on the other side, you have the Iowa Hawkeyes, who are coming out of the Big Ten. I mean, they've gotten big wins over Ohio State that practically knocked Ohio State out of the college football playoff, and you'll know that when you hear my semifinals, my playoff predictions later today. But Iowa is looking good. They're looking to finish up a very interesting season in the Big Ten, and they're looking to rebound and go into next season with a lot of momentum. So coming from me in this matchup, this one's tough because Doug Flutie played at Boston College. You got some great players that came out of Iowa. So coming from me, I'm gonna take the Iowa Hawkeyes because my good friend College Football Dojo is an Iowa Hawkeyes fan. I'm gonna make this pick for him. I am taking the Iowa Hawkeyes to defeat Boston College. And now the next bowl matchup. It is the Foster Farms Bowl featuring the Purdue Boilermakers facing the Arizona Wildcats. Now Purdue is coming in, found a way to get in after a few surprising big-time blowout losses in the Big Ten, but they found a way to get into a bowl this season, and they're looking to get a big win over a very good Pac-12 team. Then on the other side, you have the Arizona Wildcats, who are coming in out of the Big 12. Another team that you got to look out for in the Pac-12 next season with their quarterback Khalil Tate. Look out for him in this game. He is the guy to look out for Arizona. So coming from me in this matchup, I'm going to go with the Arizona Wildcats to defeat the Purdue Boilermakers. And now the next matchup. It is the Military Bowl featuring the Virginia Cavaliers facing the Midshipmen of Navy. Now Virginia is coming out of the ACC Coastal. Again, they had a pretty solid season. They nearly knocked off Miami. And they're looking to finish up a very solid ACC Coastal season and looking to go into next year with big-time expectations with Kurt at quarterback. I think they're going to be in a good shape next season. Then on the other side, you have the Midshipmen of Navy, who have not played, and they're going to be playing Saturday, just like Army. So I can't say a lot about Navy until. So I can't say a lot about Navy. So coming from me in this matchup, man, I'm going to take Kurt and the Virginia Cavaliers to defeat the Midshipmen of Navy. And now the next bowl matchup. It is the Texas Bowl featuring the Texas Longhorns facing the Missouri Tigers. Now, this is a battle of a former Big 12 team facing a Big 12 competitor. Now, starting off with the Longhorns are coming off a very rough season last year, but this season they definitely turned it around and finally got into a bowl this year. Todd Herman's doing a great job, and I do see high hopes for the Longhorns next season in the Big 12. Then on the other side of the Missouri Tigers are coming now being in the SEC. They were a Big 12 team a few years ago, but this Missouri Tigers team being in the SEC, very tough SEC, was hard to get big-time wins, but they found a way to win, and they're here. So coming from me in this matchup, man, again, I am an Oklahoma Sooner fan, and because it's a bowl season, I'm going to go with the Texas Longhorns to defeat the Missouri Tigers. And now the next bowl matchup. It is the Camping World Bowl featuring the Hokies of Virginia Tech facing the Cowboys of Oklahoma State. Now, Virginia Tech had a pretty solid ACC Coastal year this year. Their defense, as always, vintage Hokie football when it comes to their defense. And they're looking to finish up a pretty solid year in the ACC Coastal. And they're looking to maybe be a big-time threat in that division next season. And then on the other side, you have Oklahoma State, who is had a pretty surprising okay season in the Big 12 with Mason Rudolph. He may be coming out, going to the NFL. Mike Gundy, mullet and all, looking to get a big win in this bowl game. So coming from me in this matchup, this one's going to be good because you got Virginia Tech's defense against Mason Rudolph and those weapons on his side. So coming from me, I'm going to take the Oklahoma State Cowboys to defeat the Virginia Tech Hokies. And now the next bowl matchup. It is the Holiday Bowl, and it's between the Michigan State Spartans and the Washington State Cougars. Now, Sparty is coming into this bowl season after having a pretty okay Big Ten college football season in the regular season, and they're looking to get a big-time bowl win here against a very good Pac-12 team. Then on the other side, the Washington State Cougars are coming off that blowout loss in the Apple Cup to the Washington Huskies on Saturday. They just did not look good. They also lost a chance to be in the Pac-12 championship game. Luke Falk did not have his best game, and Mike Leach is looking just to finish up a very solid season, but a very unfortunate season not getting to the Pac-12 championship. So coming from me in this matchup, this one's tough. Again, Sparty's defense is really good, but Washington State's offense is also pretty good because this one's a tough matchup. So coming from me, I'm going to take the Washington State Cougars to defeat the Michigan State Spartans in a close battle. And now the next bowl matchup, it is the Alamo Bowls, featuring the TCU Horned Frogs facing the Stanford Cardinals. Now the TCU Horned Frogs are coming off that blowout loss to my Oklahoma Sooners in the Big 12 Championships game on Saturday, and they fell real fast in the top 20, the final top 25, from a perennial top 10 team to being dropped down to like the top 15 and top 20. So Kenny Hill is looking to finish up this very rough season. Again, they lost to Oklahoma twice and Iowa State, so they're looking to finish up the season and look into next season and maybe be a perennial challenger in the Big 12 Conference. Then on the other side, you have the Stanford Cardinals are coming off that tough 3-point loss to the USC Trojans on Friday for the Pac-12 championship. KJ Costello had a pretty solid game, but just fell short. Jonathan Taylor is going to be the guy to look out for Stanford. Kenny Hill for TCU. So coming from me in this bowl matchup, this one's going to be tough. This one's a tough pick because TCU's good, Stanford's good. So coming from me, I'm going to take Bryce Love, not Jonathan Taylor, Bryce Love and the Stanford Cardinals to defeat the TCU Horned Frogs. And now the next bowl matchup, it is the Belk Bowl, featuring the Wake Forest Demon Deacons facing the Texas A&M Aggies. Now, Wake Forest had a pretty solid season in the ACC in the regular season, and they're looking to finish up a pretty solid season with a big bowl victory against a very good SEC team. Then on the other side, you have the Texas A&M Aggies, who are coming off a very dismal season this season, and they have also now officially fired Kevin Sumlin, so he's gone, and they're looking to start over in the SEC next season, and they're just looking to get a big win over a very good ACC team. So coming from me in this matchup, this one's tough. I'm going to take the Wake Forest Demon Deacons to defeat the Texas A&M Aggies. And now the next matchup, it is the Sun Bowl, featuring the North Carolina State Wolfpack facing the Arizona State Sun Devils. Now, NC State's coming off a big win over North Carolina in that rivalry game in Week 13, so that was the last time I saw them, and they're looking to get a big win and looking to be a perennial threat next season in the ACC Atlantic. Then on the other side, you have the Arizona State Sun Devils, who are coming out of the Pac-12, another team to look out for in the Pac-12 next season. And they're looking to get a big-time win against a very talented ACC team. So coming from me in this matchup, I'm going to take the North Carolina State Wolfpack to defeat the Arizona State Sun Devils in a close battle. And now the next bowl matchup. It is the Music City Bowl from Nashville, Tennessee. It is the Northwestern Wildcats facing the Kentucky Wildcats. Now, this is the Battle of the Wildcats, and this is also almost a home game for Kentucky. Now, Northwestern's coming off a really good season in the Big Ten. Even though they lost a few games, they rebounded and won the rest of their games handily, and they're looking to finish up a pretty damn good, impressive season this year and go into next season as a perennial lookout team in the Big Ten. Then on the other side, you have the Kentucky Wildcats, who are coming out of the SEC. They did start off pretty hot, but they kind of cooled down. But another team to look out for in the SEC is the Kentucky Wildcats. Look out for them next season. So coming from me in this matchup in the Battle of the Wildcats, I'm going to take Northwestern to defeat the Kentucky Wildcats in another close battle. And now the next bowl matchup, and this is one of the New Year's 6 bowls, and this is the Cotton Bowl, featuring the Pac-12 champions, the USC Trojans, facing the Big Ten champions, the Ohio State Buckeyes. Now, this is going to be a great Cotton Bowl this year, with USC coming out, winning the Pac-12 championship over Stanford on Saturday. Sam Darnold is looking to hopefully not finish his career here, stay another year, and he'll be definitely a front runner for next year's Heisman. And the last time the USC Trojans were here was 1994. So it's been a while since we've seen the Trojans in the Cotton Bowl at the Jerry Dome, which is going to be in Dallas. Then on the other side, you have the Ohio State Buckeyes, who are coming off a big win over the then undefeated Wisconsin Badgers on Saturday to win the Big Ten. But with the committee saying that the Iowa loss crippled and cost Ohio State the fourth slot, they're here at the Cotton Bowl, and they're looking to put a whooping on USC. Now, the last time we saw Ohio State in the Cotton Bowl was in the 80s. So it's two teams who haven't been here for a while, and they're looking to show that, hey, we may have won our conference championship, but we deserve to be in that conversation in the college football playoff. So coming from me in this matchup, this one's tough. This one's a tough pick. I'm going to take the Ohio State Buckeyes to defeat the USC Trojans in a very good Cotton Bowl matchup. OHIO. And now the next matchup, it is the Tax Slayer Bowl featuring the Louisville Cardinals facing the Mississippi State Bulldogs. Now the Louisville Cardinals had a pretty solid season last year. Again, it was just a one-man team with the former Heisman Trophy winner Lamar Jackson. Definitely next season they just need to give Lamar Jackson more help. That is for sure. They need to give him more help because I'm surprised he was still in every game because it's just one player. But Lamar Jackson next season needs help to maybe be in contention against teams like Clemson and Florida State in the ACC Atlantic. Then on the other side, you have the Mississippi State Bulldogs, who are coming in maybe without Dan Mullen, who has left, who may be leaving for Arkansas from Mississippi State. So this could be Dan Mullen's last game coaching the Mississippi State Bulldogs, and they're looking to give Dan Mullen a send-off with a big win. So coming from me in this matchup, I'm going to take Dan Mullen's Mississippi State Bulldogs to defeat the one-man army known as Lamar Jackson and the Louisville Cardinals. And now the next bowl matchup, it is the Arizona Bowl featuring the Utah State Aggies facing New Mexico State. Now, I don't know a lot about Utah State other than I remember Chucky Keaton playing there, their former quarterback. That's maybe the only thing I know about Utah State is that Chucky Keaton was a quarterback there. That may be the only thing I could say. Then on the other side, you have the New Mexico State, which I don't know a lot about, but they're making their first bowl appearance since 1960. So It's been a long time for this New Mexico State team to get a bowl. I think they had the longest drought in not getting into a bowl game. So they're here. They broke that curse, and they're looking to get a big win. So coming from me in this matchup, you know what? I'm gonna go with New Mexico State to win their first bowl game in nearly 25 plus years and defeat the Utah State Aggies. And now the next bowl matchup, and this is another New Year's Six bowl. It is the Fiesta Bowl featuring the Washington Huskies facing the Penn State Nittany Lions. Now, both teams are making their first. Washington is making their first appearance here in the Fiesta Bowl because Jake Browning had a big game over Washington State in the Apple Cup the last time we saw Washington, and they're looking to get a big bowl win after last season's debacle in the college football playoff against Alabama. Then on the other side, you have the Penn State Nittany Lions are coming out of the Big Ten. Again, they did not win the Big Ten Conference, but they've had a fantastic year in Happy Valley. I mean, Trevor McSorley had a great year. Saquon Barkley also had a big-time year, and they're making their first appearance in the Fiesta Bowl since 1996. So you got a first appearance here and the first appearance since 1996. So this is going to be a fantastic Fiesta Bowl. So coming from me in this matchup, this one's tough. This one's a really tough one. I'm going to go with Trevor McSorley and Saquon Barkley and the Penn State Nittany Lions to defeat a very good Washington Huskies team. We are Penn State. And now the next bowl matchup is another New Year's Six bowl. It is the Orange Bowl in Miami, Florida, and it's the then undefeated Wisconsin Badgers facing the Miami Hurricanes, or the U. Now, Wisconsin's coming off a very tough loss to the Ohio State Buckeyes in the Big Ten Championship on Saturday. That's their first loss of the season, and they're looking to just put a whooping on the U. Jonathan Taylor's looking to get them a big bowl win, and Hornibrook is also looking to move this Wisconsin team down Miami's throat. Then on the other side of the Miami Hurricanes, who are coming in 10-2 after their blowout loss to the Clemson Tigers in the ACC Championship. Mark Richt, again, like I do believe they will be back in the ACC Championship next season. I'm personally guaranteeing that as a bold prediction because this Miami team is good. Again, they do have some big-time injuries in this game. Their wide receiver got hurt and a few other players got hurt, and Mark Rozier definitely has to step up for Miami if he wants to stay the starting quarterback next season. So coming from me in this huge Orange Bowl game, this one's a tough one because I know a lot of Miami Hurricanes fans are disappointed that they couldn't get past Clemson and win the ACC, and I know there's a lot of Miami Hurricanes fans in my comment section. So, and there's a few Wisconsin Badgers fans, again, another team I thought was very underappreciated this year, and next season Wisconsin will be one of those top 4 teams in the college football playoff coming from me. So coming from me, I am taking, you know what, these are just bowl games. I'm going to go with the Miami Hurricanes to defeat the Wisconsin Badgers in a close battle. And the turnover chain better wake up. And now the next bowl matchup is the Outback Bowl featuring the Michigan Wolverines facing the South Carolina Gamecocks. Now, if you college football fans remember, this was the Outback Bowl that Jadeveon Clowney made that monster hit against that Michigan running back and got the ball back and won for South Carolina, because I think this is the same Outback Bowl. Now, Michigan's coming off that tough loss to Ohio State at home in the Big House in week 13. Jim Harbaugh definitely has to step up for Michigan next season, and they need a starting quarterback. They started like 3 different quarterbacks in the regular season. They have to have a number 1 quarterback, and I've heard a few rumors that the Ole Miss quarterback is looking to transfer, and Michigan is on the top list to get him. So Michigan wants to win in the Big Ten again. They need to they have to have a starting quarterback. Then on the other side, you have the South Carolina Gamecocks, who are coming off that tough loss in the Palmetto Bowl to Clemson. Again, South Carolina has had a pretty solid year this year in the SEC, and they're looking to go into next season as a perennial threat. So coming from me in this Outback Bowl, I'm going to take the South Carolina Gamecocks to defeat the Michigan Wolverines. Gamecock. And now the next bowl matchup is the Liberty Bowl featuring the Cyclones of Iowa State facing the Memphis Tigers. Now the Iowa State Cyclones are coming in as the surprising team out of the Big 12 Conference this year. Again, they had big wins over TCU, Oklahoma. They also nearly beat Oklahoma State, and I know a lot of Iowa State fans would say that they got cheated out of that game. But this Iowa State team has been the talk of the Big 12 this season, and hopefully they will continue it into next season and get a big win here. Then on the other side, you have the Memphis Tigers, who are coming off one of the best games in Week 14 and championship week against the undefeated UCF Knights. It was a back-and-forth battle, and they went into double overtime, and Memphis just fell short. Riley Ferguson had a huge game for the Memphis Tigers, and they're looking to cap off a very good season in the American Athletic Conference with a big win. So coming from me in this matchup, I'm going to take the Memphis Tigers. Just their offense is just hard to stop. I'm going to take the Memphis Tigers to defeat the Iowa State Cyclones. And now the next bowl matchup, it is the Citrus Bowl featuring the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame facing the LSU Tigers. Now Notre Dame is looking to finish up a pretty solid year. Brian Kelly had a pretty solid year with only 2 losses to Georgia and to Miami and Stanford, so 3 losses. So they're looking to finish up a pretty solid season maybe at 11-3, and they're looking into next season looking to be a top team in the college football playoff. Then on the other side of the LSU Tigers, who are coming out of the SEC, they had a pretty damn good year. I mean, big wins over. They've had big wins over Florida this season and a lot of other big-time teams. They're looking to make Ed Orgeron's second year a better year for LSU. So coming from me in this matchup, this one's going to be good because Notre Dame, Charlie Weinbush, their quarterback's got to step up. He can't make any big-time mistakes in this game, and LSU's defense has always been really good. So coming from me, I am taking the LSU Tigers to defeat the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Lsu Tigers! And now the final matchup of these college football bowl predictions. It is another New Year's Six bowl. It is the Chick-Fil-A Peach Bowl, and this one's a good one. This one's a good one to finish it up. It is the undefeated UCF Golden Knights facing the Auburn Tigers. Now, UCF is coming off a big win in the American Athletic Championship game on Saturday over a very good Memphis team in a double overtime thriller. This was the best game of week 14. Mackenzie Mixon had a big time game at quarterback with 6 touchdowns and just 3 picks. And this is also it is Scott Frost's last game at UCF, because he has taken the job at Nebraska, where he won the national championship for Nebraska in the 90s. So he's going to be coaching there, and I have heard a few rumors that UCF is looking to get Kevin Sumlin, the former Texas A&M coach, to be coaching the UCF Knights. So UCF is looking to cap this undefeated season and get Scott Frost a final win as the UCF coach. Then on the other side of the Auburn Tigers are coming off that SEC blowout loss to Georgia, in which a lot of people did not expect Auburn to just lay an egg there. Their running back was banged up in that game. Jarrett Stidham definitely got to show up. Gus Malzahn is another guy to look out for in the coaching thing. I've heard things he may be going to Texas. He may be going to Arkansas. And they're looking to finish up a very solid season, even though they did not win the SEC. So coming from me in this final bowl matchup of this video, again, it would be such an amazing thing to have UCF win. I mean, they were 0-12 a couple years ago, and now they're 12-0 this season. It's a great story. So coming from me in this matchup, I'm going to take... this one's tough. I'm going to take the Auburn Tigers to defeat the last undefeated team in college football this season and defeat the UCF Knights in a close matchup. War Eagle! And those are my college football bowl predictions. Now, I hope you guys did enjoy all these bowl predictions. Comment below, who do you have winning all these bowl matchups, from the Celebration Bowl to the Peach Bowl. So I'm very excited to see you guys' opinion on that comment. Let's have a conversation about it. Of course, I'm always on to see your comment, like it, and of course reply right back to you. Now, as always, voice your opinions out there. Let's have a conversation about it. Of course, I'm always on to see your comment, like it, and of course reply right back to me. Comments are absolutely always welcome on this channel. Now, I do want to thank you guys so very much for watching this very long college football bowl predictions video. Now, before you go, you can never forget to do this. That like button, comment, share with your friends. Of course, super kick that like button like only you guys can. Of course, you can never forget to do this as well. That subscribe button to become part of this bigger and dangerous alliance. And I will see you guys later today for my college football playoff, semifinals, and finals predictions. Later days, and peace.